What is up? What is up? This is the No I Don't Know TV series podcast, whatever you want to call it. What is going on? What is going on? We are back, black. Shout out to everybody at Corporate Plantation. If you got to work on the weekend, shout out to you because that shit is not fun. I'm going to say it every weekend. It's not fun. And I can't stand a motherfucker that be like, oh, man. Especially if you working 2 jobs. Oh, man, you work 2 jobs, you got it? No, nigga, I'm working 2 jobs because I don't got it. I hate that. That's the dumbest shit in the planet for a motherfucker to say that. Hey. Shout out to everybody that's in Chicago for All-Star Weekend. It's a whole lot of bitches out there auctioning off that pussy hole to the highest bidder. All the way to the goddamn airport when these niggas get on their planes and go home to see their respective families and wives and significant others. I was watching a lot of this All-Star Weekend. I had made some time, DVR'd it. Shit, handling business, doing other shit, trying to handle business. But man, the stuff that I did see was pretty interesting. Hey. So for all y'all that just came home from church service because you're trying to get to the All-Star Weekend, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that figures. Let me turn that. That figures. Oh, I didn't miss too much. Shout out to all these bitches that flew from Vegas, California, all over the world just to go to Chicago to get drafted by one of these niggas in All-Star Weekend. That's what the focus is going to be around today in the topic. Hey. But hey, man, I'm your boy Warren G. Been clowning sucker free since 2003. Shit, turn this shit down. Didn't even need to read too much. Hey, what is going on? What is going on, man? A lot of shit going on. It's All-Star Weekend, like I said again. I was watching that shit, talking about all the Chi-Town, talking about all the motherfuckers from Chicago. You know, some great athletes, some great people come out of Chicago. Much love, power, respect to everybody out of Chi-Town. But, you know, I was watching NBA stuff, and it was very, very critical because I really wanted to see what they did for Kobe, and I really wanted to see if they were going to incorporate Black history, which they really didn't do too much, I guess, because of the slang, you know, the untimely death of Kobe Bryant. But I feel like some of the stuff that they did was all right. You know, you could tell, man, one of the funniest things, man, I got to talk about, I had DVR'd a lot of it. Man, when they was doing them interviews on the practice on, I think it was Friday or Saturday, man, that shit was the funniest shit. Y'all go check that out. They're going to be replaying that over and over again. Go check out Russell Westbrook and LeBron James. Man, Russell Westbrook, I got a newfound respect for him because he don't play the bullshit with them reporters. He had to check them a couple of times because they was fucking up and everybody was trying to talk at the same time. And he had to check their asses. He's like, hey, man, y'all doing too much talking. Man, one at a time. I can't even hear what they saying. And that shows you that these are human beings. They're not robots and they're not animals. And y'all treat them like animals. It almost seems weird just watching it because you could tell, even LeBron, he looked so goddamn frustrated. He just looked, you could tell. He like, man, I just got off a plane. And it's like, well, that's what they get paid for. Yeah, but they are human beings too. You know what I mean? They go through things too. And I was just seeing how they was talking about, you know, there was just a lot of symbolism, you know, that I saw it, but I was just kind of like, ooh, Just some of the stuff. Now, the thing that I will give the NBA is this. They by far treat their employees a lot better on that plantation than the football plantation. In football, they don't do a goddamn thing for them players like they should be. Run, nigga, run, and that's it. Now, they do put they all into it. Is it about making money? Of course, it's always about making money. Some of the things that I say I really didn't like. I know that they're memorializing Kobe Bryant, but I feel like, why does it have to be when a motherfucker's dead? And it's untimely, because would people be saying these things? I watched what Magic said. He said some real poignant about Kobe Bryant that a lot of people didn't know if they didn't watch, because Kobe has had stuff on HBO and Showtime years ago when he was playing basketball, 10, 15 years ago. And the one thing that I remember that stuck out to me about Kobe is he talked about how the Staples Center is right across the street from Skid Row. And he was just like, often he'll go over there and give out food and stuff like that. And that kind of fucked with me, because I was like, damn, most niggas don't even talk about that shit. And he was talking about that then. And Magic was not lying. And it was good to see Magic out there, because, I think Magic, to me, he is the template, I would say, as far as, a Laker great. Him, Kareem, Worthy, all them. But I just, a lot of it is the business moves that he made outside of basketball. And I think they need to focus on that during Black History Month. Black players, and making sure that their finances are straight, and having businesses and ownership and things like that. And, there was things that I liked, and there was things that I kind of was like, it just, the bigger scheme of things is what I saw is, I would say, the whole, what a good nigga you was after you died. It was just, it was eerie too, just to listen to that, because it was just kind of like, ooh, there was just a bad feeling. I guess in that context, you know what I mean? And then I did like the Jennifer Hudson performance, which, listening to her sing, it just almost makes me think of Black Labor, White Wealth, makes me think of the ISIS Papers. That genetic coding is a motherfucker. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Just listening to Jennifer Hudson did not lip sing, and it wasn't no dat machine, and she didn't need all these distractions. All she needed was one mic, as Nas would say, and just listening to her sing. After all these years, the sister can sing her ass off. And the thing that came to my mind was the melanin, the law of rhythm. Melanin, the genetic coding that's inside of our DNA. It's like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing was not lying. Just listening to her sing, it almost kind of like, you forgot about basketball, and then you're thinking about Kobe, but then you're thinking like, especially me, I'm like, God damn, she's really, really, really digging deep and singing from the pit of her soul, but it's so good. Flawless performance. Flawless. Just flawless. And then watching the things that Kobe was able to accomplish, and watching how he mimicked the GOAT, Michael Jordan, and it was almost just kind of like that genetic coding, the DNA. Just watching basketball in the 90s, it just was a different time. If you were white and you played basketball then, you had to be a good basketball player. You couldn't just be great white hype. That wasn't allowed back then. But it is now. And I get it. They're trying to make it a global game, and I understand that. You know what I mean? And no diss. Yeah, he's done great things for the NBA, but is it for his own pockets and for his kids to be great and have money, or was it for the players? Because it's easy to say that when you're making money off someone. You know what I mean? But what are you doing outside of the game? It almost reminds me of collegiate sports, when people brag about these coaches, and then when they don't make it to the NBA and they're just a nobody, they go on and live a regular life. What are these coaches doing for these kids? The thing that I did notice the most about it was the All-Star coach, they both white. The majority of the players, damn near all of them are black. how does that relate? Because the majority of these white coaches, they didn't even play basketball. And if they did, they were sorry as a motherfucker and they couldn't really compete. Not in that way. You know, the exceptions of the Larry Birds, the Pat Rileys, the Phil Jacksons. You know what I mean? But a lot of these coaches, I just be like, where are y'all getting these basketball coaches from? And how do they relate to black players? You know what I mean? And it's like, when you see that, it just makes me think of that book, $40 Million Slave, which I haven't read yet, but I'm getting around to reading. I'm still reading Behold the Pale Horse. Man, that book is a motherfucker. It's astonishing, some of the shit that he has in there. But I just hope everybody watching this All-Star game, oh yeah, everybody's making money. A lot of bitches is making money. I know a lot of bitches is, you get 45 for that pussy, yeah. You got 55 for that pussy, yeah. $75 for that pussy, yeah. $75 for that pussy, $7 for that pussy, yeah. It's a lot of that shit going on. A lot of bitches that ain't even there probably Skyping they pussy hole to the All-Star game. This the pussy you can get, you know, if you want to fuck with me, fly me in. I know it's a lot of that shit going on. A lot of behind the shit, you know, things that we don't know that's going on, but there's a lot of money to be made and a lot of money that's being made. And it's so funny, you could talk about black history and bring up Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King, and then I saw Jesse Jackson, Messy Jesse, I Am Somebody. And it's like, Messy Jesse, sit your black ass down. There was a lot of things that I saw. I give NBA props as far as letting Common them do a thing, but Common, you can tell Common is so far removed from the old school. Common, and everybody changes and they evolve. But when you see Common doing Microsoft commercials, it's like, okay, I get it. I understand. And it's no diss. But the like water for chocolate doesn't exist. That comment is gone. You know, and I get it. The thing that I didn't like was, you know, they showing Barack Obama, which didn't do a goddamn thing for black people. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that I didn't like. You know, I am very biased when it comes to Obama because I voted for him twice and he didn't do a goddamn thing. He didn't say shit either. Nothing. And, you know, I felt like we did not, as black people, hold him accountable. And he knew as a black person, not a native black, but as a black person on GP, he was going to get black votes. That's why we got to be mindful of that. I was talking about that on Twitter. As I got, they took my Twitter away for 12 hours. I was in Twitter jail because I was going in on their asses. Going in on a lot of people. Talking about you inciting violence. And I ain't never tweeting no. And it's so funny. When you talk shit like fuck a bitch on Twitter and fuck bitches ain't shit, they'll let you tweet that all day long, all day strong. But when you start talking about the dominant society and you start talking about shit that is really of significance and importance, oh, they don't want you talking about that. At all. You know, I was waiting to see how they were going to intertwine black history with this All-Star game. And, you know, they had their moments of doing it and they didn't do it, which it didn't shock me because there's money to be made. And to me, there's no money in black history. That's what I got out of it. Now, they did memorialize Kobe and they did. They're doing him a lot of justice. I just feel like if you want to do him more justice, there's a lot of things behind the scenes you can do. Get more black owners in the league. There's only one black owner, and that's Michael Jordan, who just happens to be the GOAT. And I feel like that's the only reason why he got a team, because he's the GOAT. And it's beyond interesting when you see a lot of the other symbolism. You know, they try to push it to be a European league in a sorts, but you can't do anything without melanated players. It's just not as interesting. I don't care how many threes you jack up. And it's almost like they're trying to go away from the old style of basketball and more into the European version, so you get more white players out there playing, because clearly, if you ain't looked, what was it, only one white All-Star that got voted? So that should tell you within itself, the symbolism behind that. You know, you have the Kobes, the LeBrons, the D-Wades. You have those. It's just not going to be too many other non-melanated people that will be able to come close to that. And they know that. The powers that be know that. That's why they got to market everything around them. I just feel like a lot of the times when we have the camera, or when we see the camera in, I would say, black celebrities' faces, we expect them to go hard for us, but they're beholden to the corporate sponsors. You know, I was even watching this thing where Big Daddy Kane, they was like, well, who do you think is the closest thing to Kobe in the rap game? This nigga said Eminem. Come on, Big Daddy Kane. You my nigga and I love you to death, but come on, man. Come on, man. That's a big, and the survey says, come on, man. You know, it's just, I feel like sometimes we do a lot of buck dancing when we know the camera's on us or we get put on the spot. A lot of that, we got to stop that. It just has the people and stay on code. And watching that All-Star, the shit that I have watched, it just let me know that that's more important than Black history. Because they didn't incorporate none of that, which I don't expect them to. I don't expect nobody to. But Black History Month is the shortest month of the year, the coldest month of the year, and there's so many things that's been going on. You haven't even really been able to take the time out to even kind of do some research on Black history. Real Black history, not just Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks, was strategically planned out, by the way. People don't know that, but there was another girl that refused to not get up and give up her seat, but she was pregnant. So they strategically got Rosa Parks and it made her this global icon. No diss, but a lot of these people are manufactured heroes. And not in a bad thing, but it just is. And then when I see people like Messy Jesse out there, I'm just like, oh shit, here we go with the bullshit. You know, of course he's there, the Chicago native, the Chicago thief. You know what I mean? It's like, and you got, you know, the Chance, the rappers, you got all these people out there. And I give them props, but a lot of the times, man, when they beholden to the dominant society and they do these charities, they do all that, that's because you being allowed to do it. And I understand. It's no diss. I just think we got to stop expecting the Snoops of the world and everybody to speak freely for us when they're beholden to corporate sponsors and there's money on the line. And we got to know about business. And in business, you got to watch what you say. You got to be politically correct. You can't just say what you want to say. The only way you can say what you want to say is when you're beholden to nobody. Dame Dash is not beholden to nobody. He still came out and apologized. So that should tell you. You know what I mean? I just think a lot of the times we allow them to tell our story. We do. We allow them to tell our story. We allow them to tell us what Black history is. It's always funny. They always talk about slavery. They never talk about when we enslaved white people. Go get the book called White Gold. I got that. I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to read it, and it's very interesting. You're like, why is it very interesting? It's very interesting because it is definitely about Black people enslaving white people. And I really think that that's the template that a lot of people want to follow, is be an athlete and be this, but we need to be focused more on coding. Let's get some black coders. You go to Silicon Valley, it ain't nothing but white boys and Asians. There's hardly any niggas up there. That's what we need to be focused on too. We gotta take this time, and a lot of these athletes, they gotta start pushing our younger generation into coding, and since we always on these goddamn phones and shit anyway, to be coders and not just be athletes, because I think that's what the social template is. You gotta be entertainer. You can't just be anything else. I really wish that I would have been socialized to be more computer-based, but when you grow up, you know, a lot of times in black households, we're not socialized to be computer savvy. You know what I mean? Like I said, I bought my first computer. I'm talking about real computer with Microsoft Windows and everything. The computer that I had, that shit was old as fuck. You know what I'm saying? It was some old shit. So I think we need to start socializing our kids to, the younger generation. Read, write. Socialize them to be agents like Rich Paul. Socialize them. It's so funny. I didn't even see Rich Paul there. I'm pretty sure he was behind the scenes, but I was talking about that the other day. It's so funny how Rich Paul changed the game of agencies. Then they was like, well, fuck that nigga. Now you got to go to school and get a degree. You can't even be no agent. You can't have your own agency. Then they saw how much flack they was getting. Then they kind of recanted. And it's just kind of like, but you really let us know how you felt the first time. So it's all good. That's why I like what Magic said about Kobe. Magic was the first person to really put out there what Kobe was really doing. Everybody else just talking about what a good slave he was. But let's talk about, well, what was his mind at besides that? What were the things that he was doing besides that? And it's like, oh, he was a great dad. Well, how could he be when he's slaving for 20 years? And I'm not talking about a 9-to-5 job, 40 hours, then you get the weekends off. No. Probably to see his kids for weeks at a time sometimes. How does that work? Then you still got people bringing up the sexual assault charges, and it's like, man, people are crazy for that shit. Crazy. But a lot of times I think that's because they want him to have an image that is tarnished. That's all that is. But when it comes to Elvis Presley, we're not talking about the young pussy he was taking. But when it comes to Kobe Bryant, we want to bring up this other shit. And it's like, I was waiting to see who was going to come out and be a defender of. And, I just want, speaking of Kobe Bryant, I just don't appreciate it. I feel like we should be memorializing him in a good way and not bringing up all these allegations that he was acquitted for 17 years ago. And I just felt like I need to speak on it, but people are not going to speak on it because a lot of people are beholden to sponsorships and contracts and bylaws and all this other shit that you got going on. So it's like, when I watch that, I just see the symbolism behind it because nobody spoke on that. Nobody. Nobody spoke on it at all. But, the best thing to me about the weekend was the memorial of Kobe Bryant and his daughter and Jennifer Hudson singing it. Hands down, that can't be beat. That was the best thing. Everything else, uncivilized. Besides TNT with Charles Barkley and all of them, that was good. The Tiffany Haddish roast, that was good too. I think they did a good job with that. Overall, it was decent. It could have been better. You can tell there's a lot of interaction between the NBA players and people that the NBA players don't really want to be bothered with. And it was hard for them to, I would say it was hard for them to fight back the irritatedness of how they were, because Russell Westbrook, that nigga looked irritated as fuck. And so did LeBron. But I guess, man, the price to pay when, they paying you to have a good life and be famous, and you got to be beholden to those type of things. But the one thing that I did notice too, it was never nothing about entrepreneurialism and teaching kids to be entrepreneurs and teaching kids about self-knowledge and knowledge of self and all that. And that's fine because they're not going to talk about that. That's what we need to talk about. You know what I mean? When the All-Star Weekend is more important than Black History Month as a whole, that says something with our culture. That says that we're allowing other people to tell our story. Are you allowing other people to tell your story? Are you that person that when a white person comes up to you and says, yeah, man, such and such and such is responsible for such and such, and you're like, man, I didn't even know that. Or are you that person that's like, yeah, I already knew that? Because for the most part, I'd be damned if I let some motherfucker that's not a part of my race try to tell me about my history. That's not going to happen. Even if they are a professor or a teacher. And if they do tell me, I'm going to get the book and try to hurry up and read it so I can make sure that they're not talking no bullshit. I was watching this, what's her name, Billie Eilish or whatever, and she was talking that shit about hip-hop. A lot of it is fake, and I was listening to her, her lingo and talking. I'm like, wow, she looks like a culture vulture. She looks like a Miley Cyrus. You're going to come amongst black people and act like you yo and all this other shit. You down with hip-hop and all this other shit. And then when the shit hit the fan, you can't make no more money. you're going to be like Pink and go over there with your people and stay over there. That's what happens a lot. You know what I mean? When you're watching the NBA All-Star Weekend and you see all these melanated brothers and you see this and then you see these white coaches, that I just got to keep scratching my head and say, how is that relatable? Like, how does that relate? Because you don't see no black coaches coaching at Duke, not no head coach or Stanford, or you just don't see that. You don't see that often at all. And it's normalized with us. And it's like, how does Frank Vogel relate to LeBron James? How? Because with basketball is a rhythm, a feel. It isn't just X's and O's. You have to have a rhythm. You got to tap into something. You got to know, like Phil Jackson was saging and meditating and read books. And yeah, because he had to learn how to tap into that black algorithm. And I feel like a lot of these coaches, they just X's and O's. They're not really tapping in like George Karl did when he wrote that book and was talking all that shit about Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, I ain't forget that shit. You know what I mean? I just think, a lot of the times I think too, is that is the epitome of success to us. Oh, if I could just make it to the league. Because they prop those type of people. I talked about the good things. Now I'm going to talk about some of the things that I feel like is really disingenuous. Propping up all these melanated brothers, and that's your template. Don't you want this money? Don't you, oh man, I come up from the slums of Chicago, and now I'm making it good, and that's good, because maybe you're able to feed your family and feed your kids and feed other people, and I get it. That's fine. But that's not the only way to be an athlete. And a lot of the times, when I see a lot of these NBA players giving back, which they're probably contracted to give back, it is always to these schools and these labs and all that, but it's never nothing that's going to, I would say, propel native blacks in this country to be forward thinkers and think outside the box. And that's what the problem is. And I was yet to hear any of those black players, which is funny, speak of, Common spoke of Fred Hampton, but nobody else is going to speak of Fred Hampton. Matter of fact, they're not going to speak of the Black Panther, period. Because to them, they're looked at and socialized as a black identity extremist group, a terrorist group. That's what most people think when you hear Black Panther. They think a terrorist group. And then when you think of the KKK, you just think of racist white people. But the KKK actually is the first terrorist group if you really want to go there. There's one hanging niggas and cutting out babies from black sisters' stomachs and shit. That's a terrorist act. But we not talking about that. They talk about Tulsa. They talk about any of those things. But these are things you need to go read, research for yourself. Go read about Fred Hampton. Go read how J. Edgar Hoover, along with Chicago PD, were the architects behind the death of Fred Hampton with the use of a Sambo. That's why a lot of these people, when they start talking about Obama, fast forward. I do not want to talk about that because I feel like he's a Sambo gatekeeper for the dominant society. He's that nigga that they send to keep the other niggas in check. That's all that is. And that's all it's ever going to be. But yeah, it was good, man. I'm glad they did Kobe some justice, him and his daughter. I feel like the All-Star Weekend, they could do more for Black History Month. They could do more educating, but that's not their job. Jewish community and the black community, go read The Secret Relationship Between Jews and Blacks by the Nation of Islam. And before you start thinking, oh, well, that's by the Nation of Islam. Nah. The Nation of Islam, all they did was take Jewish scholars' notes and books and compile it into one book. Everything that's written in that book is vetted by a white Jewish scholar. So it's not just the Nation of Islam researching their own shit and read. No, they took the research from white Jewish scholars. It's all vetted by them. I read the book. All the shit that they had written, it's all cited by white Jewish scholars. So when you read that book, I've read it, and then David Stern being from the Jewish community, knowing that behind every successful black person, there's a Jewish person right there by their side, either a lawyer or an accountant. You know, it's one of them, financial advisor. So it's like, when you see that, and there's no diss to David Stern, but you see that, you like, well, you came in, you turned the NBA around, and that's what you should do because you were doing your job. That's what you were getting paid to do. But also, I think you saw the bigger picture, and the bigger picture of my kids' are going to be able to live great off this league, off my $9 million a year salary. That's a whole lot of money to be a commissioner and make decisions. So it's like, go read that book. It's Black History Month, if you can get it. Because I know Amazon.com, I don't think sells that book anymore. So when you go watch the All-Star Weekend, if you taped it or if you haven't watched it, be very subjective, not objective, because you got to understand it is paid, it is on TV. You know, some of the stuff that I saw, I was just like, you know, the common shit. I felt like, all right, dude, hurry up, get your ass off stage. But some of the things, some of the symbolisms, I wasn't really feeling the Obama shit. I just not. I'm never going to feel the Obama shit because I feel like he played black people. He used the color of his skin to coerce black people into voting for him twice, and he did nothing for black people. And I'm tired of people talking about, well, he had to be the president for all people. Bullshit. Ask George Washington, John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, John Quincy Adams, Thomas Jefferson. Ask all those white supremacists that they was the president for all people, or were they president for their people. His president for the people that look like them. So why is it when it comes to my people, we got to be like, well, he got to be the president for everybody. Bullshit. Go on with a bang. Fuck it. I can't do shit for y'all. Nah, but what he did was practice the benign neglect policy like Bernie Sanders and all the rest of these motherfuckers out here in Nevada. No, you're not getting my vote. Period. I don't know why these motherfuckers texting me and calling me and leaving messages and putting notes on the niggas' door and shit. I can't wait for one of these people to come and call me or catch me on the phone because I'm going to tell them the same thing that I said the last time. The person who gets my vote is the person who has a native black agenda. Period. When you have a native black agenda, that's when you get this native black vote. Other than that, fuck you and get the fuck out my face. Period. And that's why when I look at the NBA, I'm very subjective now. I don't look at it from the standpoint like, oh, you know, they really doing, no, they're not doing shit that they supposed to be doing for the black community. And you're like, well, what you mean? Well, they're getting paid for this. This is all, like when they showed David Stern go to Africa and Dikembe Mutombo was like, this man went with me to Africa. And I'm like, oh, this guy is serious. And I'm like, well, I'd be serious too if there's money to be made. And I'm trying to bridge the gap worldwide and make it a global sport. Yeah, I'm going to go out of bounds and go beyond the reaches of the regular society so I can kiss the babies and do all these things because there's an incentive behind that. If LeBron James is making $140 million, how much you think Jenny Bustingham is making off of him if he's making $140 million? Don't be fooled by this. Don't be fooled by this tribute because I'm very interested to see how much money Kobe Bryant is going to receive from the Lakers organization. I'm going to keep saying that. Oh, well, he made up money. I don't give a fuck how much money he made. Fuck out of here. They going to make sure he take care, make sure his family's taken care of for the rest of their life. They shouldn't have to want for nothing. Period. Nike either. If he was on Nike, you should be breaking bread. As Nike plays both sides of the fence. They fund the Republican Party and then fund Colin Kaepernick. So I don't want to hear that shit either. And if Nike love niggas so much, then why don't they say, all right then, Michael, we're going to give you 40% share ownership or 30% share ownership of Nike's corporation. Since you've made us so much money. You've made it where it's cool to wear our shoe, which we really didn't want niggas wearing. But you made it cool. They'll never do that. That's what I'm saying. Just look at the symbolism behind it. Y'all love black players so much, then I got love for Jerry West, but change the goddamn logo from Jerry West to Michael Jordan. Change it to Kobe. Not gonna do that, huh? But I digress. These are just things that I look at. Look at all the symbolisms. Look at it all. You know what I mean? These are just things you gotta pay attention to. Stop letting your kids think they just gotta grow up and go be a basketball player. Because if they don't make it, then what the fuck they gonna do? That's what they need to be worried about. What is it that you are socializing the people around to know what is real, what isn't? Now, the NBA, those black players, those are real black players, but with constraints because they can't say what they want to say and they can't do what they want to do. They can't fund what they want to fund. And when you mean fund, with money, oh, here, I want to put my money into this. There's probably certain terms and agreements that they probably have to sign in NDAs or certain things to make sure your ideas aren't contrarian to the NBA's ideas because they have to share the same ideologies as the NBA. That's why when Donald Sterling was talking all that shit about black players and calling them niggas and shit, the only thing they could do was wear a shirt and protest. Didn't there one of them niggas say, man, we not playing. Y'all need to find a new owner tomorrow. Because like Donald Sterling said, I provide them with their lifestyles. Period. That's why Black History Month, if y'all love niggas so much, then why don't y'all have more black owners? These are the things that people not going to ask, but I ask. Why don't I have more black owners? See, I would have asked Adam Silver that. Mr. Silver, why is there, in this racial climate, what can you do different that all the other commissioners for all the other sports have not done? And what do you mean? Let me go into detail. Why is there only one black owner out of all these other Caucasian owners, and he just happens to be the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball? So that doesn't even really count. Why is there no other black owners? Why don't y'all specifically go out and find black owners to own one of these teams? Ain't nobody gonna ask him that. With his Marvin the Martian looking ass. That nigga look like an alien for real. And not no goddamn Anunnaki. Straight from the Caucasus Mountains. God damn. But hey, I'm just saying, these are just things we gotta look at, man. Look at your everyday life. Look at that. Don't think that they're better than you because they got more fiat currency. They doing the same thing you doing. They're just doing something probably a little bit more fun. But they're still slaves of the system. They report, they got a boss just like we got a boss. When you hear motherfuckers say owner, they doing the same thing you doing at the corporate plantation. That's why I don't get starstruck when I see NBA players. I just be like, oh, that's woo-woo. Nigga, you on the plantation just like me. They just made it a little bit more comfortable for you than they have for me. But you can go for broke, and you can fall flat on your face just like I can. That's why they got 30 for 30. And then when you go for broke, let's see if they contacting your ass now, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to contact your ass. You're going to be out of sight, out of mind. Oh, what's happening, Tasha? I didn't even see you in there. God damn, I wasn't even paying attention. But I tell you, when you get on these corporate plantations and you're watching the footballs and the basketball, stop making it your idol god. Stop making it where you're mad when they lose and happy when they win. I used to be that way. Man, when the Miami Heat, that was one of my favorite teams. When the Miami Heat would lose, when the Lakers would lose in 2000s, I'd be sad. Like, I got stock and inventory in the team. Man, I don't give a flying fuck who win or lose now. I don't make no money. So I don't care. When niggas be like, oh, he just got, when you be hearing niggas break down how much money somebody got in their contract, I just be like, and how much money of that are you getting? And then they'll get mad and be like, oh, but you know, nah, man. I'm good. It's entertainment, but it's controlled entertainment. So you got to know and understand what it is, especially when it relates to native black people. And it's so funny how you start doing a little digging or just, you know, research on David Stern and like, oh, you're Jewish. That's interesting. Wow. you're Jewish and you're making a whole bunch of money off a whole bunch of black people, and then you read the secret relationship between Jews and blacks, you're like, man, that shit was real. Because it ain't nothing but a plantation. That's all it is. That's why you can't say what you want, you can't do what you want. Remember that. Why is it that Magic was the only one that said things about Kobe Bryant that was away from basketball, being a slave? How he was trying to change the homeless population. That was near and dear to his heart. It's like, damn, out of all these people, he was the only one. That's because most people just know him as the slave. Sorry to say it that way. Nobody knew him as the person. And I'm talking about NBA players, coaches, people around the league, people a part of the Lakers organization. Because they didn't probably really get to know. Look, this is business, and y'all got to understand this. It's all business, never personal. That's why during this All-Star weekend, and you see how it relates, you like, wow. They didn't say too much of nothing about no black history, and they didn't incorporate none of that, which is fine, because we can't expect them to do it. This is the dominant society. In their mind, they probably like, well, y'all niggas should be glad that we had Jennifer Hudson sing and Common come out and rap and do his bullshit. And Chance the Rapper, they post all, no diss to Chance the Rapper, but Chance the Rapper's dad he's a big-time political politician. He's a big-time politician. He's with the movers and shakers. But they will definitely prop those type of people in front of you sometimes and think, well, that's what you're supposed to be. And you're supposed to, strive to be like. And it's like, nah, we need more people to strive to be coders, scientists, healers. You know what I'm saying? All white, okay? Thank you. He at work. That's what I'm saying. That's why I tell people, don't put all your stock in inventory in being them. You better put stock in inventory and seeing who's getting paid behind the scenes. While you're on Facebook, you better be like, well, how does, because Mark Zuckerberg was a coder as well. Even though he is related to the Rockefellers and that path was already destined for him because of the money and prestige that he came from, because you ain't just going to Harvard for nothing. But we need to find people that are doing that so we can have our own platforms. And the reason why I say that is because, let me relate it to one. When you watch Russell Westbrook and LeBron James roll their eyes and smack their lips because they tired of answering these dumbass questions by these reporters and shit, but you gotta be there because that's a part of your job, that's when it's like, we need to create our own league. But we will never do that because I think scarcity of land and resources, the little bit of money and shit that they giving us, we trying to hold on to it. And I understand that because that's a part of being a free thinker. I'm the same way. I think like, damn, if I'm not at the corporate plantation, what am I going to do? And then sometimes I'd be like, all right, well, I know I'm going to do this, and this. But sometimes when we're around people that are scared just like us, we're going to stay stuck in the same habits, the same ways, in the same figure eight. And then I think sometimes when we're around people that think outside the box, that's when we become prone to be like, you know what, fuck this. That's why nobody in the NBA has been like, you know what, I like the NBA, I appreciate what y'all getting paid, but a lot of shit y'all got going on is bullshit. Some of these referees are racist too. Some of these coaches are racist. Nobody will call that out. I personally think a lot of those coaches are racist. George Karl, I think he's racist. See, the thing about black people, we think because they haven't shown that racism to you, that they don't possess that in their character or in their hearts or in their mentality. But just because they have not expressed that to you does not mean that they don't possess those characteristics. That's a fact. I was watching on Vlad TV with Trey D, and they was asking him about the Eminem shit, and I like Trey D's response. Trey D was like, well, if Proof and Dre and all them niggas didn't whoop his ass, beat his ass for that song, then who the fuck am I from Long Beach? I don't even know that nigga like that. And that's a great answer. Why ain't they holding? And you right. They should be. Then you got a question. Why y'all not holding them accountable? That's the question. And that's the question that you got to ask. You got to stop. See, I think we think, well, they supposed to be saying shit for us. Nah, man. NBA players ain't going to say shit for you. Snoop and them ain't going to say nothing for you. After that Snoop apology, don't be expecting Snoop to say nothing out of the confines of what he almost always says. He's not going to do that anymore. And the reason why he's not going to do that anymore because there's money on the line. Hey, man, you like, well, he a rapper. You right. But, nigga, when you want more money and more money and more money and more money, and you got corporate sponsorships and you on Viacom and, nigga, you like, well, fuck y'all niggas. I just apologize. My mama told me to, and his mama probably like, nigga, don't fuck up the bag. The dominant society knows what it is. That money is going to always divide us because we don't have group economics. We don't have an economic base. That's why I can turn on TV and watch the All-Star Weekend and watch nobody from TNT and nobody, period, be like, you know, I'm going to miss Kobe. But the thing that I've been very disappointed is the media and bringing up that rape case from 2003. And everybody could have been bringing this up when he was alive, but nobody said anything because everybody wanted to make money off of him. Now that he's dead, they can't make no money. Now they want to tarnish his name. Nobody has said anything, and I feel like because they're afraid of the backlash. They're afraid of corporate sponsorships that they might lose. And I'm not dissing that. I'm just saying we got to be mindful of that. And no, most activists are not wealthy, and most wealthy people are not activists. Straight up. Remember that. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. I got shit I got to handle. This is the No I Don't Know TV series. Thought I'd hit y'all with another podcast. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of bitches out there selling their pussy hole in the snow right now. I know that's what they doing. But anyway, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Again, hey, man, I'm your boy Warren G, in the place to be. Been clowning sucker free since 2003. Hey, man, go check out some of the shit on All-Star Weekend. Just go check it out. You'll see it for yourself. Jennifer Hudson was the highlight of the weekend. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I'll tell you right now, if you're out, bitch, and you in Chicago right now, still walking the streets with no panties on, with a skirt, bitch, you ain't shit. Guilty, nigga. I'm out. Peace.